Hey, everybody. Welcome to Market Weekly. My name is Justin, and I am here along with my co host, Fernando. We are happy to be here this week. We've got a lot to talk about, and there's just so many things happening on the global financial plane that everybody needs to know about. And I hope everyone is out there educating and reading and learning and just getting better at protecting your money and staying on the pulse. So, hey, Fernando, how are you doing today?
Hey Justin, I'm doing great. Thank you for asking. As always, I'm very happy and excited to be here. Today, I'm going to be sharing a little bit further my market analysis for what's going on the cryptocurrency world. We're going to be talking as well about the marketplace that was just enabled for the Meta One website. And I also wanted to share with you guys a little bit about a situation that happened a couple of days ago with PayPal. I believe it was like 3 days ago. And but I don't want to spoil, that situation right now. We'll get into it. So because it's something very interesting.
It
So
is. I
yeah.
agree. Yeah.
So let's leave the surprise for until a couple of minutes. So let's start by sharing my analysis for the market this week. So yeah, this chart that we're looking at right now is the Bitcoin chart, and we're looking at the weekly chart. For those of you who do not know what that means, it means that every candle represents 1 week of the price movement of an asset. So in this case, the asset that we're looking at is Bitcoin. So I'm gonna zoom in, and we can see that for the past 4 weeks, the price of Bitcoin hasn't really moved at all. We've been swinging between 20K and 19K. So there's not a lot of action right now. I mean, I still remain bearish. I still think that we're gonna continue to move downwards. And the reason why is, like I said previously, recession, inflation, energy crisis, and so on. But at the same time, I believe that is not such a bad thing that we're in a very stable position for the price of Bitcoin, because what this means is that the price of Bitcoin is stabilizing. So, in actual times, that's a good thing, because if we take a look around, at fiat currencies, for example, the most powerful ones like the British pound, or the Australian dollar, or the euro, a lot of these fiat currencies, they're very volatile these days. They're losing a lot of their value. And I mean, if we wanna take it a little to more extreme case, and we look at other fiat currencies like the Turkish lira, or the Argentine peso, or the Venezuelan, I think it's called the petro. Those currencies have lost a lot of value in the last couple of months.
Yep.
I was reading a statistic saying that if you held $100,000 worth of the Turkish lira, those 100K would be right now worth 10K. If you held that in Argentinian pesos, that would be right now like 3K. And if you held that in the Venezuelan dollar, right now you would have $1. So that's pretty much what hyperinflation means.
Yep.
They're stealing away your money, they're crashing economies. And this is not a random scenario that's happening. The economy is not a god, is not a living being that does random stuff and whatever. No, this is being done by the people that control the economy. The economy is not random factors. The economy is not, we don't control it. It is controlled by the people on the top of the economy. It's controlled by the private banks. It's controlled by Goldman Sachs, the Rothschild, or however you pronounce your name, and BlackRock, and the Fed printing money and all that stuff. So you gotta be very careful. You gotta educate yourself. You gotta find a way to lose the least money with all these scenarios going on. I mean, if you're in Argentina, you gotta research about Bitcoin and Meta One. If you're in Turkey as well, I mean, you gotta find a way to fight whatever's happening right now, because the government's not your friend and they're not going to help you.
Yep.
So you gotta be super careful. If not, one day you're gonna wake up and your $100,000 are gonna be worth $1, like Venezuela.
Yeah.
So I mean, this is already happening. So to all of our viewers, please educate yourselves. Read about Bitcoin. Read about Meta One. Meta One, as always, is super stable. Let me go ahead and open the chart for Meta One. Let's give it a moment. Exchange. There we go. So for Meta One, for the last couple of weeks, the price has been ranging between 380 and 360. So it's not volatile at all. I mean, if you want to invest in something right now that is not volatile at all, then go all in on Meta One, because I mean, let's go back and take a look at the Bitcoin chart. So this is a chart for the last 11 months. So there's a lot of volatility, and you know, the current direction of the market is downwards. And for Meta One coin, you know, it's not that volatile. Almost, yes, there's no volatility for the Meta One coin at this time. The only direction that the price of the coin has been moving is you know, upwards. Right now, you know, there's not a lot of movement, but the price is stable. So like I said, guys, you know, Meta One is an amazing gold-backed stable coin to fight inflation. And yeah, prepare yourself, because things are getting wilder by the day. And if you don't take action today, you know, tomorrow it might be too late.
Yep. 100%. That is very true. I completely agree with that.
Yeah, and what else? So I wanted to talk to you guys about the marketplace. So we just introduced a new feature on our website called the marketplace, the Meta Marketplace. So once you log into your account, you see this dashboard, and to the left, you see here the section Meta Marketplace. Also, give me a second. It seems like I have to log in. Okay, there we go. Okay, so after we click here, we are taken to this section that is pretty much the Meta Marketplace. So it's I don't know if any of you have used the Facebook Marketplace, where you can post items and services, or kind of like Craigslist, where it's the same thing, where you post items, services, and all that good stuff. So it's pretty much the same. You know, we have here several categories. We have auto, business, community, jobs, real assets, gigs, tech, services, general. There's another one here, but I cannot see because my screen is blocking the way. But I mean, you can post here about any topic you want, and you can interact with other people. If you want to make a post, you just click over here on the top right, make a post, and you can select your item category, upload a photo, name your item, description, and then just put in all your contact details and just submit it.
Yeah.
I think we already have several people here submitting some stuff. So let me see if I can find one. Yeah, so here we go. So we got several people already posting stuff.
Yeah.
And you can, yeah, and it just came live a couple of days ago. So it's pretty cool to see we already have several people interacting with the marketplace. Let's check this one out. You can check it out by just clicking on the image, and it's gonna take you to the posting, and it's, you know, here you have the description. You can contact the seller or the provider by clicking here. You can see the name, phone number, email address. You can give the service a like. I'm gonna give the service a like. You can drop a comment by coming here to the section below and just typing something in and submit comment. And that's pretty much it. So this is what the marketplace is all about. It's a fun way to interact with other Meta One members to trade items or offer services, or maybe just post a question and interact with other members. So yeah, I mean, I really like this new feature a lot. I think it is amazing. It is a great way to interact with other users, because so far the only way we had to really interact with other users was through Telegram, or in the monthly meetings. So this is great. I don't know if you want to add anything to what I just said, Justin.
Yeah, I mean, this is, it's exciting. It's the beginning of, metanomics economy, decentralized economy, being able to really see the utility of Meta One start to blossom in its very early stages. And, everybody who's a Meta One member, you are a early adapter. You are the one who decided to be above, in front of the curve. And it's so cool to see that everyone's using it, and we want to hear feedback. We're going to continue to make this better. We've got big lofty goals for this, and one day it will be a decentralized app. That is definitely our goal for this, and this is kind of just the beginnings of all of that. And we're just very excited. It's just I'm excited as you are, Fernando. It's really cool, and I'm excited to start using it myself, and I'm excited to see others have already jumped on there and started using it. So yeah, let's move away from these fiat currencies. Let's start to live our life in a free way using Meta One and other crypto solutions to be able to really create a free world. It just excites me to think about how many exciting things we have in store in the future. So yeah, it's really cool, and just the beginning.
Yeah, no, I share the same feeling, and I want to emphasize on what you were saying about moving to a decentralized world, and I want to talk about what I was saying in the beginning about the PayPal situation we had a couple of days ago. And this is why, let me share the news. This is why we need to move from centralized services and centralized governance, because at any time they can decide to do with yourself and with everyone whatever they please. So PayPal tells users it will fine $2,500 for misinformation.
Yeah.
So what does this mean? So a couple of days ago, PayPal came out and said that if anyone shares anything they deem as misinformation, they're going to charge you $2,500 from your account. What classifies as misinformation? Whatever they feel like it.
This is literally like a ministry of truth from Harry Potter. Like, it literally is like, let's just make stuff up. Today it could be lemons are not good, and you can't have lemons. So if you talk about lemons, well, we're gonna shut your account down. Or you sell lemons, we're gonna shut your PayPal account down. It's insane. It's insane.
I mean, it doesn't make sense, but this is the current situation of the world. Like I've been saying in every podcast, this is not something for the foreseeable future. This is, it may or may not happen. This is happening today as we speak. It is happening right now. Our freedom is being taken away from us, and if we don't do anything about it, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's not going to be good. So on the bright side, something good that happened, a lot of people found out about this new clause on the PayPal's user agreement, and they banned it on Twitter, and they started hashtagging like cancel your PayPal account.
Yeah.
They all started closing their PayPal accounts, like a lot of people. And in the past 5 days, they lost 12%, which equals like 10 or 12 billions of dollars.
Yep.
And what happened? PayPal immediately backtracks this new policy from their user agreement, and they removed it. They removed it entirely, and they're saying that this is no longer going to be a policy under user agreement. And the reason why is because I think I don't know the exact number, but I think we're like about 10 million users closed their account, and it backfired for PayPal. A lot of people closed their accounts. The stock price started falling. So this is the power that we have over companies and the power that we have over the government. If at any point we decide that what they're doing is not okay, we can just cancel them. We can just close their account and stop using their product, and that's it for them. So we are in power, and we need to take that power back, because we've been afraid for so much time that we think that they are the ones in control, and we need to take that power back, but in a good way, right? I mean, I'm not telling you to let's like the Black Lives Matter movement that they say that they're doing something to fight for equality. They go out and they trash restaurants and they trash stores and stuff like that. I'm not asking you to fight in a way that trash the city and trash stores and stuff like that. I'm saying fight in a way that we all band together and we talk about freedom, abundance, being positive, love, and all that good stuff. And if at whatever point, we feel like the government or the companies are taking that power away from us, let's all band together as friends, as family, and let's stop this. Because like I said, one more time, this is happening already. This is happening today. And if we don't do anything about it, I mean, it's going to be too late in, maybe a couple of months or years. And then I don't know if there's going to be a going back from that. I don't know if you want to add anything to it.
No, yeah. I mean, I completely agree with everything that you said. And, honestly, at the end of the day, the most powerful thing that we have is, voting with our money. That's really, really powerful. It's actually even more powerful than any kind of centralized voting system or anything like that. In my opinion, I really believe that look at this. I mean, this is just a prime example, and there's a million examples of this happening over and over again, where people actually stood up. As much as everyone has a different opinion about the Robin Hood boys and all of that stock stuff that they do. That's super powerful. I mean, they basically vaporize GameStop pretty much. I mean, there's all of this stuff that happens all the time that really shows that we are very powerful, and if we stand up together, nothing can stop us, because the thing is that there's a lot less people running these centralized systems than there are of us, and that's what people need to realize. And here's the powerful thing: you start using crypto, you stop using fiat dollars, fiat whatever currency it is. Not only do you have advantages for yourself, because you are you're not dealing with deflationary or inflationary situations, just like you were talking about before, where if you held 100,000 Turkish lira, it'd be 10,000 Turkish lira today. But you also choose to move your money away from investing in these kinds of places and putting your money in places like PayPal, because places like PayPal, Cash App, all these things. The sad thing is, unfortunately, you have to abide by their rules. And if you're not using your money in the way they want you to use it, they're going to shut your account down. I've had this personally happen to me more times than I can count. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah.
I'm sure everybody's listening to this has had this happen. So why are we putting up with it anymore? We need to remove ourselves from that system. We need to start using different alternatives. And what I would speak to for those who think crypto is too complicated, I don't understand it, so on and so forth. Just start slow, and I would guarantee you when you jump into it, you'll realize that it's not that hard, and that there are a lot of alternatives out there, and there are a lot of people, more and more people every day, who are starting to use more crypto and less fiat currency in their life, and it's really freeing. And there's lots of different ways that we can stand up together. So People just need to use their voices. They need to use their voices. Stop being afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. Trust me, these people's bark is much louder than their bite. And if we stand up together, they can't do shit.
Yeah, no, I agree entirely. And I wanted to bring this picture up just as kind of a way to explain what's going on with the traditional financial system, and with the new better option that it is blockchain. So with the traditional system, you have the sender and the recipient, and in between we have third parties like the bank, BMO, PayPal, MasterCard, Visa, Western Union. So whenever you send money, any of these institutions can do whatever they want with your money. They can hold your money, they can freeze your money, they can charge you extra fees, they can lose your money, or they can do whatever they want with your money. And this is what we're trying to do now. We're trying to cut the third party, the middleman, and just be peer-to-peer. So here, in this scenario, you can see that every transaction is from sender to recipient. So everything's done peer-to-peer. There's no need for a third party. There's no need to interact with anyone else. And this is a solution to the problem that we're having right now, because if we do everything peer-to-peer, the third party cannot touch our money, and they cannot freeze our funds, and they cannot have any control whatsoever over us and our money. And this is why we need blockchain. We need it immediately. We need to stay away from all these systems, because whenever they want, whenever they choose to be the bad guys and steal our money and do whatever they want, like PayPal was just doing with misinformation, which pretty much can be anything. Could be something like, and this is actually very ironic, because I saw on Twitter previously that there were some people saying that, for example, the COVID vaccines, when the whole pandemic started, there were a lot of scientists, doctors, and very well-educated people saying that the vaccine was not efficient and that it was causing side effects. And all these people were banned from Twitter. Some of their bank accounts were frozen. They were labeled as the devil. And what happens then? 2 years later, Harvard and MIT and other institutions come out with a research, with a document. There's actually there's a PDF file of the investigation that took place. I think it took place in Harvard, and where they explain how the vaccine was more dangerous than not having the vaccine, that people were dying, that people were having heart attack, myocarditis, or however you pronounce it. There were a lot of stuff that side effects from the vaccine. And back in the day, 2 years ago, you would have been canceled, your bank account would have been frozen, and you would have been labeled the devil. And oh, surprise, it turns out you were right. So this is the power that these institutions have over you, and we need to remove it immediately from them, before it's too late. And with that, I'm gonna propose the following. I figured out that there's a company that's pretty much like PayPal, but it's decentralized. It's in the cryptocurrency world. It's on blockchain, and this company is called Utrust. Pretty much. Cool. Have you heard of Utrust before, or not?
I have, yes. Yep.
Yeah, well, they're super cool. They're pretty much the same thing as PayPal. And I have a lot of faith in this company, because guess what? The CEO of this company is a former executive of PayPal and eBay. So she left for the past into the future. And previously, I think she was like the vice president, but I was looking at her LinkedIn profile, and it seems like she's the CEO now. So she's the CEO of Utrust. And like I said, she was a high executive previously on PayPal and eBay. So she left those companies because she knows that, the traditional system is the past, and now she's looking into the future. So for any of those of you who would like to know more about the Utrust, you can go to CoinMarketCap and see their, their cryptocurrency. They're currently operating under Binance, KuCoin, Gate.io, some other cryptocurrency exchanges. So it's a good buy. I personally wouldn't recommend to buy right now because I know that the market is going to continue to go down. But it's a good company to take a look into because, like I said, this company is gonna be everything that PayPal, did wrong. So being centralized, withholding payments, and all that bad stuff is not gonna be possible to be done here because it's going to be a completely decentralized company. It is in the blockchain, and I believe that this company has a very bright future.
Yeah, me too. It's very cool, and everyone should take a look at it. And we didn't get paid to say that. It's a very cool, cool company with a lot of potential, huge amount of potential, and the system's really cool. So yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And on this line that we're talking about around, you know control of money. We've talked a lot about CBDCs on this podcast, on this show, and because it's very important to be talking about. And something that I wanted to share with everybody is basically CBDCs are here. They are real. Bank of India has just announced in 23 they are launching a CBDC. This is not a pilot program. This is the full real deal. So India is huge, right? I mean, it's one of the biggest countries in terms of populations in the world, and the Bank of India is making this happen. So this means, especially what happens as well is when big superpowers, big powers in the world like this are pushing forward on this. It just obviously creates competition. It makes other superpowers like the US and Canada and others just want to push even further. And I don't know exactly, haven't read this report, so I don't know exactly what the design and the legal framework is around what they're going to require or not require. But remember, governments can just change their mind on a whim, and they can be just like PayPal and decide to hold your money for whatever. So we need to start preparing for this. We need to start to look at alternatives, get away from centralized systems, say no to digital CBDCs, and really focus on how are we shifting our money and where are we putting our money and how are we using it. So I wanted to share that. And did you expect this, Fernando? Did you think this was going to come this fast?
I mean, I expected it, but
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to come that fast. Maybe I was thinking 2025, but not this fast.
Yeah, it's nuts. It's pretty crazy. So yeah, it's going to definitely change things for sure. And it's just going to make every other government in the world want to do it faster. So the other thing I kind of wanted to shift to is, it's really important I keep my kind of thumb on the pulse of the fundamentals and what's happening in the global financial world. And I think this is something that everyone should be focusing on because it's something that we're starting to look more and more like 2008. I don't even want to say those words, but it's really the truth, unfortunately. And this is another reason why we have to be paying attention to and looking at transitioning to decentralized currencies, et cetera, safe havens, places where we can keep our money like Meta One, et cetera, that are not going to we're going to be protected from what's coming. Because I really think that there's something big coming in terms of the traditional financial system. And basically, there are two major banks that probably everybody has heard of: Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank. Deutsche Bank is Germany's second largest bank. Credit Suisse is also Switzerland's second largest bank. And there's been a lot of talk about them in the news lately. So we're kind of in this too big to fail situation again. Some people are comparing them to the Lehman Brothers. Basically, this is an amazing thread, which I will post in our show notes. But I kind of wanted to go through it and talk about this a little bit because this guy really just breaks this down very simply. So basically, the combined assets of both of these banks are near 2 trillion, which is 3 times the asset base of Lehman Brothers at the time of their collapse. And basically, on just a little history lesson on September 15, 2008, Lehman Brothers was basically considered too big to fail for insolvency. And it was the largest bankruptcy filing in history, in US history, excuse me. And that basically was the trigger that started the 2008 collapse. So both Credit Suisse and Deutsche Bank are really systemically important, not only to the world, but also to Germany and Switzerland, of course. And the stocks of Deutsche and Credit Suisse have been slowly basically going down. They're down about 90% from their 2009 high. And there's a ton of credit defaults that are default swaps that are happening for Credit Suisse. The chart you can see here is just going straight up. And basically, higher credit default swaps equals stronger market-wide belief that Credit Suisse is going to fail. And basically, what this means in layman's terms, he breaks this down very simply. If the banks cannot pay their debts, they become insolvent and have to sell their assets. The CEO of Credit Suisse came out earlier this week and said they basically have to start selling $200 billion in assets because they don't have money to pay their debts. And if the prices of these assets fall below a certain level, then other banks will have to start selling to avoid a forced margin call situation. So, and then 3, the massive deleveraging event will create a domino effect that will do mass selling and obviously economic crisis, et cetera, et cetera. So that's basically what happened in 2008.
But that
So
could be a good thing, no? Don't you think? I mean, that would mean that if the price of almost all goods in the economy crashes, that would mean that deflation. So a lot of the goods that we currently have, maybe the most likely their price is gonna go down. Don't you think?
Yeah. I mean, I think for us, for regular human beings, I welcome this kind of stuff. It's like we need to see this system collapse, and we need to have a coming to Jesus moment, as they would say, and be like, okay, we need to get away from this. But the reason why I want to bring this up is because because I want everyone to be aware of it and know that. Make sure that you're making the proper preparations. Where are you safeguarding your money? How are you doing that, et cetera, getting into safe assets, so on and so forth, so that you are not affected by this. Because if you've got some kind of retirement vehicle and you're in the traditional stock market, in my personal opinion, this is not investment advice, but this is just my opinion, I think you're going to be screwed. So you need to really think about that and do education and learn for yourself. But yeah, I totally agree with you. I mean, once this happens, it's going to be good for all of us, because that means that's when you make money. You're going to be able to buy real estate really cheap. You're going to be able to buy stocks really cheap. You're going to be able to get goods at really, really good prices. And if you were smart and you kept your money safe, you're really going to be able to use that cash to your advantage.
The problem is that if you don't get out before everything starts crashing, then you're going to be screwed, because everything you held onto doesn't have a lot of value anymore. But if you sell and you find a way to keep the value of whatever you're holding, when everything goes down, you're going to be able to buy more houses, more Bitcoin, more whatever you want.
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, like Robert Kiyosaki says, crashes, economic downturns, whatever you want to call it, is where millionaires are made. And that's really true. And if you're smart about it, you really can make that happen. So Other thing I wanted to share is I found this really interesting website that I wanted to share with everybody. I'd known about it for a few weeks, and I actually wanted to share it on a couple of weeks ago show, but unfortunately their site was down for a while. Not surprising because they're doing good work. But it's back up now. So this is a site called Shadowstats.com. And basically what it is it's analysis of and beyond government economic reporting. John Williams is an economist. He's been an economist for a very long time, 30 years or something like that. And basically what he does is he does calculations of actual real economic indicator numbers. So basically, a long story short, in the United States, there was a big change in how economic indicators were calculated back in the early 80s. And what happened was they changed their formulas to basically suppress the numbers. So the numbers looked better than they actually did. Typical something that the government would do. And this is a really interesting website because he basically uses the same formulas that were used back in the 1980s by the US government to calculate inflation. So there's a lot of information on here. You could probably read for days, and I'm not going to dive into like every single one of these things. But I did find this very interesting to look at for a couple of economic indicators. First is inflation. So looking at the numbers, and calculating it versus 1980s statistics, he says that the 1980s calculation is 23.1%, which makes sense to me, right? It makes sense. It probably makes sense to you too.
Yeah.
I mean, that kind of feels more like that's probably close to the accurate number
And
versus.
I actually think that it could be a little bit higher, to be honest.
Yeah. You're probably right. But this is kind of what he says. And then what I thought was really interesting also is the unemployment numbers. Unemployment for September 22 with the Shadowstats numbers is 24%, which for the United States, from what I can see and what I'm hearing just from people around me and other things, I think that's totally right too. So I just wanted to share this with everybody. Like I said, I mean, I could spend hours on this website. There's a ton of data here, but it's very interesting to look at. And I just thought that this was really cool that somebody is taking the time to do this because, the government data, of course, is skewed in the direction of their favor because that's what they like to do. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Anyways, I think that was kind of all I wanted to share. Do you have any other thoughts today, Fernando?
No, just that I feel like that information is very very interesting. I'm pretty sure you're gonna share the link on the comment section of the video, right?
Yeah, in the show notes, I'll drop the link. And just for everybody who knows, all of the stuff that we talk about on these shows every week, all of the links we drop them into the show notes so you guys can go and look and do your deep dive. I always say, don't believe anything we say, do your own research.
Yeah.
So dive into it and kind of take a look at what we're looking at here too. But yeah, I'll put these links in the show description so folks can check it out and do their reading. It's really fascinating. And just continue to stay educated and continue to keep your eyes open. And remember, knowledge is power, and you've got the power. Stand up.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
we can move mountains if we do it together. So
I agree. And I would like to add that to everyone, if you're enjoying our podcast, please subscribe, leave a like, and if you could also please drop a comment or two and let us know if you want us to talk about something specific, or if you want us to talk again about something we've talked before. Just let us know.
Yeah, let us know. We want to hear from you all. This is a community and want y'all to participate. So let us know what you want to talk about. And we're excited to continue this and continue to provide you guys with education, information, and what we're hearing and what we're thinking. So With that, I guess we're gonna wrap up. This is kind of a short one, but it's a good one. I hope you
Yeah.
guys enjoyed it. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I know that there's a million things that you could be doing right now, and the fact that you took the time to listen to our words, we're honored by that, and we appreciate all of you. And Fernando, any final words?
You've said it all. Thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week.
All right, take care, everybody. Bye bye.